Hello, everybody.
I'm Barbara Fasano.
I'm Eric Comstock, and we're delighted to be with you in beautiful Ann Arbor, however virtually.
Eric and I have been doing a series called 72 in Song from our apartment here in New York City, and we stream music every Saturday. For you, we have selected some of our absolute favorites from nearly 9 months of episodes.
So you'll hear stories about that red wall and how it got that way, early voting in New York City.
Our dear Julie Wilson, with whom we came out to Kerrytown and did a series of concerts over one very beautiful weekend, and also some rather peculiar Thanksgiving memories.
But to kick us off, trivia question for you. What song do Blanche DuBois, Tatum O'Neal, and Nat King Cole have in common?
Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Yes, it's only a canvas sky sailing over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny-yard key change. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. No, it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
We hope you have a great time.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody,
everybody.
and greetings from the 72nd Street Election Anxiety Alleviation Annex.
And Daylight Saving Time Survival Center.
Don't forget, it's tonight.
Some people are talking about New York, saying it's a ghost town and dissing us. Well, I don't know what these people are talking about. I mean, we are out. We're having dinner, we're running through the park, we're biking through the city, and we're voting with our masks on.
We voted just the other day, and I will say it was a rainy day, and it was a long line. It was 2.5 hours because it wound block after block after block after block just below Lincoln Center.
But everybody was in a great mood, and people were talking, and there was even a little table set up in front of PJ Clark's with coffee and hot chocolate. At one point, this really nice woman came by with a beautiful black and white collie that just came right up to me. The doggy just like tucked into me, and we just had all this fun doggy love together and talked to this woman for like 15 minutes. And I mean, everybody was just, it was just a great feeling.
And of course, there was the inevitable New York character who cut in line.
So at one point I went off to get Eric a sandwich. And when I came back to the line, there was a woman standing in front of us who was not there before. So I just waited until the line started to move again, and then I just moved right in front of her. And she stopped me and she said, "Excuse me, that is my spot. I believe you have cut in front of me." And I said, "Oh, no. I think you have cut the line." And she said, "I did not. I have been standing here for 20 minutes.
We, of course, had been on the line for 90 minutes.
I got on this line at the end of that block." And of course, the end of that block was not the end of the line because it was block after block after block. So I said to her, "Well, you know, I don't think you understand how long this line is," and I just wouldn't let it go. And then finally, I just turned around, and the cute guy standing behind Eric just piped up and said, "Yeah, you cut the line." And then the guy behind him said, "You definitely cut the line."
Meanwhile, I was Mr. Confrontation, engrossed in his sandwich and saying not one word.
So now I had all this backup, you know, so the woman had no choice. And then she just became this coquettish combination of Blanche DuBois and Rue McClanahan. So, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I mean, really, I had no idea. So we all decided that we would let her stay. But I looked at her one more time and I said, "But you did cut the line."
Speaking of New York characters, Comden and Green wrote some classic New York musicals, and for our takeout tunes this week, two of their most joyous songs, music by Julie and Lenny, and if you need last names, there's the door.
Every day, just go along, dawn till sundown. Here's the rundown. Every day that comes once in a lifetime. Take each day, gather the rosebuds in it, fill each minute. Every day that comes once in a lifetime. Think of now, tomorrow is waiting in the wings, and who knows what it brings while the future waits. The present swings from day to day in Brooklyn or China, across the bay. Only once comes this particular sky. Only once these precious hours will fly. Once in a lifetime today comes by. So live today.
What a day! Fortune smiled and came my way, bringing love I never thought I'd see. I'm so lucky to be me. What a night! Suddenly you came in sight, looking just the way I hoped you'd be. I'm so lucky to be me. I am simply thunderstruck at this change in my luck. Knew at once I wanted you, never dreamed you'd want me too. I'm so proud you chose me from all the crowd. There's no other guy I'd rather be. I could laugh out loud. I'm so lucky to be me.
Think of now, tomorrow is waiting in the wings, and who knows what it brings while the future waits. The present swings from day to day in Brooklyn or China, across the bay.
Only once comes this particular sky. Only once these precious hours will fly. Only once in a lifetime today comes by. So live. Come on, live today.
We love you. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We're tucked in here, just like all of you are, tucked into our little apartment.
It's 5:30 on a Saturday night, so normally we'd be getting ready to go on at Birdland for Saturday supper. We can't do that this week, and so we'd like to send this virtual musical hug from the two of us to you at home.
I cannot hear the city, I cannot hear a sound. The roar and rush become a hush whenever you're around. The world beyond the window, the fury and the fuss grow distant now and fade somehow with us. And here inside this world you've let me see, it's simpler than we often let it be.
I'll keep you safe and also set you free. I offer you, I offer you me.
I cannot hear the city, I know it must be there. The raging town is waiting down the stair. We'll make it vanish in the thin air.
I know it must be there. The raging town is waiting down the stair. We'll make it vanish in the thin, thin air. In this not-so time, music has been one very welcome, constant. The other is sharing it with all of you. So with a lot of love and gratitude, we give you two sweet and simple Hollywood songs that were immortalized by some of our idols, Billie Holiday, Bing Crosby, and Nat King Cole. Not that I'm a Punchinella, just an optimistic fella with a lot of very mellow music in my soul. Not that I'm a Pollyanna, shouting out a loud Hosanna. It's my singing heart I can't control. I hear music, mighty fine music, the murmur of a morning breeze up there, the rattle of the milkman on the stair. Sure, that's music, mighty fine music, the singing of a sparrow in the sky, the perking of the coffee right nearby. There's my favorite melody, you my angel phoning me. I hear music, mighty fine music, and anytime I think my world is wrong, I get me out of bed and sing this. Children laughing down the street. Where is there a song so sweet? I hear music, mighty fine music, and anytime I think my world is wrong, I get me out of bed and sing this song. This is my night to dream. Don't mind how bold I seem. I am a girl who ought to be kissed. You are a man, a brave optimist. I gotta make you see, you should belong to me. Even the moon is in on my scheme. This is my night to dream. When by tomorrow you'll be gone, so I'm not waiting till 10 minutes to dawn and be in love with you. Who knows what I might do? Please understand if that sounds extreme. This is my night to dream. When by tomorrow you'll be gone, so I'm not waiting till 10 minutes to dawn and be in love with you. Who knows what I might do? Please understand if that sounds extreme. This is my night to dream, baby. This is my night to dream. Mwah! We're dreaming with you. Hello, darlingest.
How do you do?
Okay, here is the red wall story. I had always wanted a red wall, and we looked everywhere in magazines and paint stores. I mean, there was not a swatch that was safe from us. And then one day we were walking down Columbus Avenue, and a new store had opened called Babette.
Right.
And I look, and there's our red wall. So I walk in, and the woman tells me that they had mixed the paint at the paint store that's across the street from our apartment. She said, just go into it and ask for Babette Red, which is exactly what I did. And that's how we got our color.
On a scorching August morning, it's 5 a.m. when we get up to get ready. At 7 a.m., Ugo and Richard, the painters, arrive, somewhat surprised to see that it's not an empty apartment they've been scheduled to paint. And Ugo and Richard take one look at all the bags and books and furniture that we crammed into the middle of the floor. Hardly any room really to move around. And Ugo says, "This is very hard. This is going to be very hard work." Ugo then announces that they have not brought spackle. And they're obviously going to need to spackle, so they got to go get spackle in New Jersey. So 90 minutes later, they come in and Ugo has yet another announcement for us, which is this apartment will be painted today. So Barbara and I nip across the street to that same paint store, buy rollers and brushes, not to mention beer, come back, crank up the music, and get to work.
And then about 4 hours into it, we're all just kind of in the zone now. You know, the music is playing, we're humming along, we're swapping stories about family and work, and then we open the beer. And Ugo has a couple of beers, and then at one point he turns to me and he wants to know, "Do you salsa?" I do not. But Ugo continues to paint anyway. So we saved the red wall for the very end. So everybody holds their breath, and Richard gets on this very tall ladder and with a very fine paintbrush paints a perfect red line all the way across the molding. And then he comes down and we splash up the first coat of paint, and it's a little bit brassy, so I was a little bit nervous, you know, but then we put up the second coat and it was perfect. And we all just kind of stood back and declared a success.
Our long day ended at 9 p.m. We were fried and filthy, but we felt like family.
And Ugo and Richard came back to the building many times to do other paint jobs. And every time I would see Ugo, he would ask, "How's the red wall?" And of course, "Do you salsa yet?"
If you're feeling fancy free, come wander through the world with me. And any place we chance to be will be our rendezvous. Two for the road, we'll travel down the years, collecting precious memories, selecting souvenirs and living life the way we please.
In summertime, the sun will shine. In winter, we'll drink summer wine. And every day that you are mine will be a lovely day, as long as love still wears a smile. I know that we'll be two for the road, and that's a long, long while.
As long as love still wears a smile, I know that we'll be
Two for the road, and that's a long, long while. We love you. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Remember parties when we used to get together, a whole bunch of us, and stand really close and hug and kiss and stay up all night?
Smoking, drinking, never thinking of tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be a little bit longer before we can do that again safely, but I think it's very important to stay in shape so that we're ready when the time comes.
And we have got the right songs. 2 perfectly marvelous party songs by who else? John Kander and Fred Ebb. There's a bright blue star, and I'm where you are. It's a true bonsoir. Not to stay awake would be a large mistake.
Oh, tomorrow morning the sun will shine with a bud awakening on every vine, and the leaves will tremble and the birds will peep, and tomorrow morning I'll sleep. Yes, tomorrow morning I'll do my best to enjoy the morning with a good night's rest, but this evening's celebration just won't keep, so tomorrow morning I'll sleep.
There's a bright blue star, and I'm where you are.
It's a true bonsoir. Not to stay awake would be a large mistake. If the wine is heady and the lights are low, then my arm is ready and I'm set to go. It's a waste of moonlight to be counting sheep, so tomorrow morning is time enough to sleep. It's good, isn't it? Grand, isn't it? Great, isn't it? Swell, isn't it? Fun, isn't it? Nowadays.
There's sex everywhere, jazz everywhere, booze everywhere, life everywhere, joy everywhere. Nowadays, you can like the life you're living, you can live the life you like.
You can even marry Harry and mess around with Ike.
What?
That's good, isn't it?
Grand, isn't it?
Great, isn't it?
Swell, isn't it?
Fun, isn't it? But nothing stays in 50 years or so. It's gonna change, you know. But oh, it's heaven nowadays. The night is young, the skies are clear, and if we're singing and friends are here, it's still lovely. Nowadays, you can like the life you're living, you can live the life you like, you can even marry Harry and mess around with Ike. And that's good, isn't it? Grand, isn't it? Great, isn't it? Swell, isn't it? Fun, isn't it? But nothing stays in 50 years or so. It's gonna change, you know. But oh, it's heaven nowadays. Yes, it's heaven nowadays. And I promise we're gonna get together, a whole bunch of us, and we're gonna hug and we're gonna kiss and we're gonna be up all night long soon. Mwah. Hi,
Hello, everybody.
This past week would have been the 96th birthday of our beloved Julie Wilson. And so we thought for tonight's 72 in Song, we would do a couple of Van Heusen songs that Julie loved a lot, and also tell a couple of our favorite Julie Wilson stories. When I first started singing in the clubs, like lots of women, I experimented with what I would wear on stage. So I was doing a show at Don't Tell Mama with Rick Jensen at the piano, and I decided for this show I wanted to have kind of a grittier downtown kind of vibe, you know. So I was wearing slouchy black, you know, drapey kind of pants with a tight little top, you know, one of Capizio's best, and I had a little black sweater just, you know, tied on my hip, you know, just kind of jaunty. And for my hair, I was just wearing a little messy, just zhuzhed updo, just crazy messy updo. I was really rocking a Bernadette Peters in the Goodbye Girl kind of look. And Julie came to the show, as she did so often and for so many of us. And about 6 months later, she and I were together at one of Amanda McBroom's wonderful shows at Rainbow and Stars. And after the show, we were waiting for the elevator, you know, that long descent, and just yakking. And then suddenly Julie just took a beat, and she just stared at me with those eyes, just bored right into me. And she said, "Darling, there's something I've been dying to tell you for months." I thought, oh my God, what is it? What is it, Julie? She said, "I came to your show. I walked into the room, and because of the way you were dressed, I thought I was at the sound check. But you just kept going. And I thought to myself, no, this is it. This is the show. And darling, I must tell you, you must never perform in your gym clothes."
Fantastic. Well, similarly, around that time, I was appearing at an East Side boîte, and for your information, if it's called a boîte, it has to be on the East Side. I was appearing at a little club called, well, the Little Club, ever so conveniently located at the corner of 74th Street and York Avenue. And one night, again, Julie Wilson came in to hear me. I was thrilled. I asked her what she wanted to hear. She asked for a Jimmy Van Heusen song. And I started in kind of a swinging, you know, Sinatra-like tempo, and a voice rang out across the nightclub, "Slower." I slowed it down a little. "Slower, honey." I did as I was told. I slowed it down some more. "Even slower, baby." At that point, I abandoned tempo altogether, and of course, Julie was right. I took a trip on the train, and I thought about you. I passed the shadowy lane, and I thought about you. 2 or 3 cars parked under the stars, a winding stream, moon shining down on some little town, and with each beam, same old dream. At every stop that we made, I thought about you. And when I pulled down the shade, I really felt blue. I peeked through the crack and looked at the track, going back to you. And what did I do? I thought about you.
Love is funny or is sad or is quiet or it's mad. It's a good thing or it's bad, but beautiful, beautiful to take a chance, and if you fall, you fall. And I'm thinking I wouldn't mind at all. Love is tearful or it's gay, it's a problem, or its play is a heartache. Either way, but beautiful. And I'm thinking, if you were mine, I'd never You see Julie? Right there.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Well, it's Thanksgiving week, and Eric and I want to wish you all a most beautiful Thanksgiving and a healthy one. And we're actually going to take Thanksgiving weekend off, so we will be back with 72 in Song and you right here in 2 weeks. Now, traditionally, Thanksgiving, of course, is a time to get together with family, maybe friends you haven't seen in a long time. And this year, it's completely different. And now they're even saying we have to be extra cautious.
But we're not alone. We're tucked in here at the Red Wall Saloon and so happy to be together with all of you. You're a lucky guy when you consider the highest bidder can't buy the gleam in your eye. You're a lucky guy, thank your lucky star. You got a honey, she wants no money, she'll take you just as you are. Thank your lucky star. Hey fella, say fella, don't you realize it's fated, you've rated, open up your eyes. You're a lucky guy, you're just beginning, so have your inning and let your troubles go fry. No one can deny you're a lucky guy. Hey fellas, say fellas, look at Mr. Doe. He's ailing, he's failing, even he should know you're a lucky guy. So why not treasure your bit of pleasure and live right until you die? No one can deny you're a lucky, you are a lucky, you're a lucky guy. You're a lucky guy.
I've been regaling Eric with stories of growing up and Thanksgivings from my house. The holidays were always a little bit intense because my mother insisted on cooking a whole lot of food. And even though she was a terrific cook, she was not a relaxed cook. And in addition to the turkey, there was always pans and pans of lasagna and the sauce and the meatballs, just endless preparation. And I have a very clear memory of some kind of an alarm going off at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then the sound of shuffling feet heading down to the big freezer in the basement. And then a huge lift up back to the kitchen with the, I mean, like how big was that turkey? And how lousy was our oven that we had to get started at 4 a.m.? And then, of course, at some point in the afternoon, my dad decided it was time to bring down the blender, and he would put in some kind of a mix and make Mai Tais.
Oh, very Italian.
And he would just whir it all up with some kind of rum or something like that, and then serve it in these very, very fancy glasses. It was so sophisticated. And then, of course, we had a lot of relatives come out from Brooklyn. I mean, it really was like an outtake from The Godfather. But my favorite time of the whole entire day was after dinner, and the table would get cleared, and all the women would go into the kitchen with their pocketbooks and their cigarettes. And the men would stay in the dining room and peel chestnuts and bring out the cigars and the scotch and the cards and play poker. And now I was the youngest in the family, so I was never allowed to play, but I would sit next to my dad and see his cards, and he would pretend that all of his plays were my idea.
Is it any wonder Barbara has loved The Odd Couple forever, ever since?
Now, of course, going out to Eric's family for Thanksgiving, that was a totally different thing, not nearly as ethnic. Just a lot of women in cardigans with cars, water crackers, you know, and thin slices of very pale cheese on silver platters.
Vermont cheddar.
Just sitting around in a circle with very sensible, lovely skirts on.
What's the matter with a nice sweater set?
In the living room. Just a whole other kind of thing.
No Mai Tais, but beaucoup Sauvignon Blanc.
And now, of course, we have our own traditions, and we're looking forward to our Thanksgiving this year, which will have lots of sweet potatoes and broccoli and cranberries and no turkey whatsoever. But a huge helping of gratitude for what we've had and what we have. When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. My bankroll is getting small. I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. I think about a nursery and I picture curly heads. One by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. Your blessings. Happy Thanksgiving.
I guess it's safe to say this is one of the strangest springs we've ever experienced, and it made us think of this Paul Simon song.
So we're sending this out again from our home to yours and from our hearts to yours.
Come she will,
When streams are ripe and swelled with rain,
May she will stay,
resting in my arms again.
June, she'll change her tune. In restless walks she'll prowl the night. July, she will fly and give no warning of her flight. August, die she must.
The autumn winds blow chilly and cold.
September, I'll remember.
Our love once new
Has now grown old. Thanks to you, the Red Wall Saloon has become our favorite chat room. And in that spirit, with a whole lot of love, we want to give you 3 of our favorite songs of friendship. It is, dare we say, a takeout tune trifecta. Here's to us, my darling, my dear. Here's to us tonight. Not for what might happen next year, for it might not be nearly as bright. But here's to us for all that we have and the road that we've traveled so far. Skies are blue and muddling through, and for me and for you as we are. And here's to us for egg in our beer and a cup of good cheer we can raise. Just that we're together and here for the rest of our beautiful days. Here's to us forever and always.
Isn't it warm? Isn't it rosy? Side by side, by side. Ports in a storm, comfy and cozy. Side by side, by side.
One's impossible, 2 is dreary.
3 is company, safe and cheery. Hey, old friend, what do you say, old friend? Are you okay, old friend? Are we or are we unique? Time goes by, everything else keeps changing. You and I, we get continued next week. Most friends fade, or they don't make the grade. New ones are quickly made, and in a pinch, sure they'll do. But us, old friend, what's to discuss, old friend? Here's to us, who's like us. Damn few. So, old friend, fill me in slow. Old friend, start from hello. Old friend, I want the when, where, and how. Old friends do tend to become old habits. Never knew how much I missed you till now.
Most friends pour through the revolving door. Maybe there's one that's more. If you find one, that'll do.
But us, old friend, what's to discuss, old friend?
Here's to us, who's like us. Most friends fade, or they don't make the grade.
New ones are quickly made.
Perfect, as long as they're new.
But us, old friend,
What's to discuss, old friend? Here's to us, who's like us. Damn
what would we do without you? Thank you so much, everybody. We hope you've had a terrific time.
We've loved spending this happy hour with you, and we wish you all beautiful holidays.
And we hope that we'll all be together again very soon in the new year. But until then, we send hugs
Virtually,
and love.
actually.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us for Live at the 415. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter to read about upcoming live streamed concerts and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified about our newest videos and upcoming live streams. Have a good evening.